and get started. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. We're going to do the audience window and see if that helps. Okay, give me a thumbs up if everybody can see my screen okay, or type yes in the comments because we are officially screen sharing. Cool. I'm hoping that this time it works and I do it right. So anyways, this is our Wednesday workshop, and tonight we're going to be talking about preventing burnout and time blocking and how those two can help each other. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tiffany Scrivener. I am a 12% leader here with pharmacy. I've been a part of pharmacy since November of 2022, so just a couple of months in. And I'm probably on your downline, not your downline, sideline, or you're my downline, or somewhere in there. So we are sisters somehow. And we're just gonna hop right to it. So let me get my notes up too, so I don't squirrel on you guys, because we all know that I am great at squirreling. I think mom can hear me now. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you though, just in case. So, okay. I've already introduced myself. We're going to be talking about what burnout is, steps to prevent it, breakdown of those preventions, and then time blocking and worksheets and then homework. So burnout is the feeling of exhaustion and lack of interest in daily work, which results in poor performance. You've all probably either already experienced this or it's going to happen. It's just part of being human. But the best way that I can describe it is when you get this like big burst of motivation and you're like, you know what, I'm going to get all of the things done. I'm going to do all of the things, my IPAs, create a whole bunch of content, going to do a whole bunch of drafts to do transitions later with on my reels. I'm going to message all these people and add all these people. And then like all of a sudden you put all this stuff on your plate and you're like, oh man. And then you get overwhelmed and you just give up and you're like, I'm not going to do that. And then you struggle to get the basic income producing activities done, let alone anything else. I know for me, like when I'm experiencing burnout, relationship building is what struggles the most. Like I don't want to message anybody. I don't want to start new conversations. I don't want to build new relationships. I'm just like, I just need to take a step away from social media. So if you've ever had that burst of motivation and then that lack of interest in doing anything, that is burnout. So we're going to talk about steps to prevent burnout. So the first thing is prioritizing. Second thing is creating a schedule. 3 is setting boundaries. 4 is delegating. And then 5 is taking care of yourself and making time for your life. So number 1 is prioritize. Literally all that is finding your non-negotiables in your day, what has to be done every single day. So this can be like family time, this can be your job, jobs are non-negotiables, the income producing activities, your team check-ins, if you have a team, creating content for your social media, maybe for some of you it's church. I know for me, mine is self-development and journaling and reading self-development or listening to a self-development podcast. So that's literally all prioritizing is just figuring out what is most important and what has to be done every day, no matter what. Number 2 is creating a schedule. And we're going to really dig deep into this in a couple of slides forward. But time blocking is literally a genius way to create a schedule. You don't have to do scheduling this way, but I promise you it's going to change your life. But when we create a schedule for our business, it makes it easier to be more productive during the set time we give ourselves instead of passively working and wondering if we've touched all parts of our business. I know for me, if I don't set a schedule to sit down and work, like I'll scroll social media and tell myself I'm working, but I'm not really doing anything. I'm just on social media. Or sometimes if I don't set a schedule, I'll be on my phone working all day where I'm adding friends and messaging a bunch of people and like creating content for the rest of the week, and like trying to play catch up, because with our business, it's really hard to get caught in that loop of there's so much to do, I'm going to get it all done. But if we set time aside and schedule a time to work our business and we're like, okay, I have an hour to do this, this, and this, we're more likely to sit down and get it all done. So this also is going to give yourself a shutdown time. And it's going to make it to where you're not feeling like you're spending all day on your phone. I know it's so hard to work this business and be like, I feel like I'm constantly on my phone, and scheduling is going to take that away for you. So that leads us into number 3, which is setting boundaries. So this is kind of like a double-edged sword, because our life can interfere with our business, and we can use life as an excuse not to work our business, but also it's easy to let business intermingle with our life, where we have these things to do, but our phone's right there. Maybe we're out to dinner and like a message pops up and we're like, oh, I gotta just real quick, I'm just gonna take 2 seconds to do this. But then that 2 seconds takes into a 10-minute order or a 10-minute question from your team or whatever. So it's important to set boundaries. That way they don't interfere with each other. So I want to take a minute to remind you guys, there is no such thing as a pharmacy emergency. You do not have to answer as soon as you get a message. You do not have to immediately reply to somebody that's wanting to order. Usually, in my experience, like when somebody's like, hey, how much is something? They don't want to order until a couple of days later when it's payday. Or maybe you have a team and you feel like you have to answer them right away. But the thing is if you've onboarded your team correctly, they know where their resources are to find those answers. So you don't have to answer your team right away. You don't have to answer a potential right away. You don't have to answer a customer right away. And it's important to set time aside for when you can spend time with these people, or when you can respond to messages, because if you don't, you're going to be constantly checking your phone. You're going to constantly be texting on your phone. So there is no such thing as a pharmacy emergency. Don't think you have to answer right away. If they want to order, they will order. If they have a question, they have team chats that they're in. They have team groups that they're in. And the same kind of goes with life. If you know that there is, if you know that there is a team meeting or a corporate live or a training or whatever, make time for it and schedule time for that, so that you make sure that you're not busy during something that you're supposed to be participating in. So don't plan over business things. Like, for example, I know every evening there is a team training. If there's something that you want to show up to that you can fit into your schedule, please do it, because the more you stay plugged in, the more likely you're going to be accountable for your business. You're going to work your business. You're going to have the knowledge for how to work your business and stay up to date on things. Whereas if you're missing out on those things, you're just putting that gap between you and your business and taking it seriously. So make time for your business, but also make time for your family, yourself. When scheduling plans with friends, offer times that aren't during your parties, your team meetings. One of the best perks about business is that we get to make our own schedule, but the important thing is to make sure that we are making a schedule for our business. We still have to show up 100% every day. Life is always happening, and we can't just say, oh, I'm sick, or, oh, I have so much to do today. Literally, we have the easiest business. It's right here in the palm of our hands. Okay. You're already on social media. I guarantee it. You can do it when you're sick. You can do it when you're sad. You can do it whenever. Don't let life get in the way. It's always happening. We can't put our dreams on the back burner because of life. Because if we do, then we're going to forever be stuck in that shithole. Okay. Also, a bonus tip: use the do not disturb feature on your phone. I used to be really good about this. I need to do it again, I'll admit, but I used to turn off my notifications after 8 p.m. and I was like, I'm not doing anything business. I encourage you to do that. Maybe 9 o'clock, 9:30, whatever time you want to shut down from business, or you don't want to be bothered by your phone, do that. Number 4, delegate. So y'all, there are literally so many resources available to you, to your team. And a lot of us are moms, we're employed full-time or have multiple jobs. A lot of us have a lot of things going on in our life where we can't spend all day creating graphics and trainings and all of these things. Like, I mean, you have leaders that are doing that for you. There are so many upline groups. There are so many onboarding programs in each of the guides of these groups. While making graphics are fun, They're very time consuming, and there's at least 5 different graphic groups. I'm sure there's probably more. I feel like there's at least like 10 graphic groups where you can literally just join, go steal these graphics and use them for your stories, use them for inspiration as what to post. And the same goes with trainings and party scripts. Like, find systems that you love, that you think work, that work best for you, and use those systems to onboard your team, train your team. I mean, you're here, the invitation can be extended to your downlines. Like, if you're like, you know what, I really want value to be put into my team, invite them here. Don't procrastinate your business by trying to perfect your team brand. I think it is important to have a brand and to start building a team group, but like, it all doesn't have to be done right away. You can slowly build when you have the extra time. The priority is growing your business and helping your team grow. When you have the extra time, you can duplicate it, but you don't have to, because there's so much out there. So be sure that you're delegating by using the resources that are already provided for you. Number 5, this one is so important, guys. I promise you, this is the number one reason people have burnout, and it's because we're not making time for ourselves. We're not making time for our life. We're not making time for our family. And like, that is the biggest excuse why a lot of people quit network marketing, is because they're just like, I just don't have time for it. It's literally interrupting everything else that I have to do. And it's a big objection why people won't join your team, is because they feel like they have to constantly be on their phone. And so I encourage you to find a hobby that's not on your screen. I know it's super easy to like play bingo or Yahtzee or whatever phone games you might have, but prioritize a hobby that's not on your phone. I like to crochet. I like to journal. I like to read. Sometimes we'll play video games, which is technically a screen, but it's not a screen that's getting notifications from my social media, which is where I work business. Whatever you got to do, make time for those hobbies. If you have to put it in your schedule, like, this is the time I'm going to do my hobby, do it. I literally do it right before Rise and Grind every morning. I'm like, I'm going to journal and I'm going to read a chapter. It doesn't matter if I have extra time for that, I'll do more. At bedtime, I'm going to crochet. Like, make it a priority to have a hobby, because that is where you're going to fill your cup and not constantly feel like your whole life is revolved around pharmacy. Spend time with your family, go out with friends, do something other than be on your phone. I have weekly play dates at least once a week, usually on Mondays. I take the girls, we go get with my mom group friends, and then we just spend time at the park or the library. Obviously, like, that looks different for everybody. You could find somebody to go hang out with that doesn't have kids. If you don't have kids, you could maybe like schedule something with family, be like, hey, like, I'm free today, can we go do something? Like, I need to spend time with you. Whatever that looks like, spend time with your family. I know a couple of nights ago, I literally made it a priority to play board games with Izzy. We played bingo, we played Old Maid, like, we spent time together. That's important. The thing about our business is that we've literally started this so that we can have time freedom, and we don't want to take away from that by making ourselves a prisoner to our business. So also, make sure that you're doing something to fill your cup other than just like a hobby. I like to journal. I practice gratitude. I write down affirmations. Personal development books. There's so much out there. You can read books, you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to audiobooks. There's a lot of motivational videos on YouTube. There's so many free resources out there. There is Hoopla, which is literally an app where you can borrow audiobooks with your library card that you use at your actual library. And the same goes for, I think it's called Libby. You can read books on your phone for free by using your library card. Find time to do things you love, do something that fills your cup, and spend time with your family. Because if you're not doing these things, that's, like I said, it's literally where burnout starts to kick in. So we're gonna talk about my favorite part, which is time blocking. All about it, guys. Okay, I used to be so good at this, and like, I don't remember how I rediscovered it recently, but I was just like, we're going to talk about it. We're going to do it. I know that Courtney was a big inspiration for this when she was like practicing the pause. And when she talked about it, I thought the pause was like pause from your business, which it wasn't. And if you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it because it's important. But it's important to pause from your business too, because we have a life outside of just network marketing, and like we're doing network marketing to spend time in that life. So time blocking is a time management method that asks you to divide your day into blocks of time. So like you can get as nitty gritty as you want with this. You can get as expansive as you want with this. It really just depends on, you and like what's easiest. But it works because it's literally designed for focus. You can time block in free time. You can time block in your day, like self-development, hobbies. You can time block in, your sleep schedule. So it allows you to focus on one thing at a time and to minimize that overwhelm. Because I know for me, like when I'm looking at my list of IPAs, especially as you get bigger in this business and you grow a team and you have to touch base with that team and you get a bigger customer base and you're following up and like your tasks get a little bit longer, having that overwhelm, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do it. So when I break it up in little chunks, it makes it a little bit easier. So the way that this works is you'll want to write down all of the time, like all of your things, like just brain dump what you have to do in the day. It can be like your dishes. It can be like your morning intentions on Rise and Grind. It can be your chores. It can be your job. It can be maybe you go to church. Literally whatever you do every single day, write it all down, dump it, just on a piece of paper. And then what you'll want to do is start with your high priority tasks. These are tasks that you can't budge the schedule on. So like your job, if you have one, maybe you go to college, maybe you have to wake up in the morning and get your kiddo ready for school, drop them off at the bus. Maybe it's church. And then like another example is for like high priority non-budgeable things is like our team meetings, our team trainings, constants that just can't be moved or fluctuated. You'll want to write those down, their times first. And then you're going to start writing down the guardrails around those set activities. So like, what's your morning routine look like? What's your bedtime routine look like? What does your sleep schedule look like? You want to write those down and how long those tasks take. And then write down all of the extra family time, chores, your hobbies, business tasks. I highly encourage that you break down your business into the IPAs. So like, I like to, whenever I did this, I'm trying to think like before now, I would put like add friends. That takes 5 minutes. We're gonna search for friends. We're going to find people that are active on social media. We're going to add them. Like we're intentionally adding friends, not just like adding people from the people you may know, but really investigating our friends and then adding them. That takes 5 minutes. We're going to do that for 5 minutes. We're going to message people for 5 minutes. So kind of like the tasks on Rise and Grind. Break each individual task down, write them on your time chart, how long you want to spend time doing that. And then once you have all of your list of all the activities, that's when you're going to start putting it into the time block sheet. So wherever there's time gaps, you can have free time. I know for me, like, for example, we wake up at 6:30. Immediately, like I'm getting Izzy ready. We're having breakfast. She's getting dressed. We're brushing her teeth. I'm getting dressed. And then like we get her off to the bus. So that would be from like 6:30 till 7:20. And then from 7:20 to 8:30, I have all this free time because there's Rise and Grind. And so I'll do like make a cup of coffee and journal for 15 minutes, read for 20 minutes, and then just like little blocks like that. Each task has its own block with its own time gap. I wish I would have done an example for you guys, but I haven't, but I'm going to send you these PDF sheets that I've created so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So make sure though, in between each of these tasks, you're setting time to relax. So I know like IPAs you can do within an hour, but I highly recommend like if you did your IPAs, don't immediately jump into, okay, now start your chores. Leave like 10 to 15 minutes in between each like chunk of time so that you have time to like relax, because if not, it kind of doesn't give us time to settle. It doesn't give us time to like retrack our brain onto the next thing. We're just like bam, 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 bam. And then before we know it, there's burnout from trying to stay too close to too strict of a schedule. So The point of this is to prevent burnout. And if we're expecting ourselves to snap from one task to the next, you're going to end up frustrated and probably behind on schedule, and then you'll feel burnout. We need buffers for any unexpected delays and emergencies. So I recommend overestimating how long the big things will take. So like maybe you're doing laundry and you set like 30 minutes to like fold and put away, but you have to, I don't know, like maybe the kid has a blowout and then she needs a quick bath and you're like, crap, now I'm behind schedule. Like leave time for those things in there. And then also you can revise this as needed daily, or even have a scheduled like buffer time at the end of the day or like somewhere in your day to get caught up on anything you might not have finished up on. So, a bonus tip also that helped me, I know if anybody has like squirrel brain like I do, I have to set alarms to be like, hey, by the way, you're done doing this. It's time to do this instead. Or like I use my Echo Dot and I'm like, hey, so and so, I'm not going to say her name because she'll turn on, but I'll be like, remind me to do this at this time on this day. So I set alarms that are like, for example, 6:30, wake up. And then at 7 o'clock, I'm like, hey, get in the car. It's time to go wait for the bus. And so I literally have an alarm on my phone that reminds me it's time to go catch the bus, and like things like that. Hey, it's time to start your chores. Hey, it's time to get on Rise and Grind. Hey, it's time to do your IPAs, whatever that looks like for you. So that's my bonus tip. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. I feel like I went pretty fast, but I also have a party at 8:30. Oh, here's my bonus tips. Go ahead and screenshot that. I'm going to give it just a second so you can screenshot it. Is everybody good? We good? Oh, I see Arista taking a picture. She's like, don't you turn that slide, girl. I'm not done. Okay. Everybody else good? We good? Okay. We go and turn it. All right. So tonight's homework, screenshot this too. I'm going to read it for a little bit. Write down the hobbies or activities outside of your phone you would like to spend more time doing. So for me, I love to crochet. I feel like that's the last thing I do because it's not high on the priority list. My highest priorities are self-development, so reading and then journaling and practicing gratitude, because if I don't, your girl gets a little crazy. So write down the hobbies or activities outside of your phone you would like to spend more time doing. It can be journaling, it can be drawing, painting, reading. Maybe you like to sew, maybe you're good at quilting, and maybe you do pottery. Maybe you like to play video games. It's going to look different for everybody. You don't have to do a certain hobby just because I listed it off. Whatever you have a passion for, or whatever you had a passion for that you feel like you fell off of, maybe because of your job or network marketing or your kids, whatever, make time for that. And then number 2, make a list of all of the activities or tasks in your business and non-negotiable. So like this should look like the IPAs. This should be, Rise and Grind if you're not at work during it. This should be team meetings, like everything that you need to do in order to be successful in business, and then also in life. So spending time with family should be a non-negotiable. Turning your phone off at a certain time should be a non-negotiable. And then number 3, create a schedule. It doesn't have to be, oh, we're ending in 10 minutes. I see you. It doesn't have to be time blocking. You don't have to do that. You can literally just have something as basic as, from wake up time until this time, get ready for the day, get kid off to the bus, go to work. And then like maybe from like 12:30 to 1:30 in the afternoon, work your business. Like whatever works best for you. If time blocking is too like extravagant and there's too much nitty gritty, it's totally fine to just set a time, like a basic schedule. Okay. I think that is all. So go ahead. If you have questions, you can unmute yourselves and ask them, or you can drop it in the comments. I'm going to stop screen sharing so that I can see your lovely faces. I'm going to read. Hold on. Holy cow, guys. Wow. Hey, hey, hey. This is me. Hi, Mom. I see. I'm in a couple. Could you link the others in the chat? Pharmacy graphics groups, Arista. Is that what you're talking about? Or team groups? Okay. Um, yes, it's so hard taking time away from our phone. Like I feel like it's so addictive. I feel
The,
go ahead.
the graphic groups is what I was talking about.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll see which ones I'm in and just link them in there. Ah, Andy, I love that you're already using to-do lists. I love that we do them in Rise and Grind because it literally gets my day going immediately. Also, Tiffany, I saw a man on your screen and I was like, who's this dude on our team? I don't know that guy. But yes, marking things off your to-do list makes you feel so accomplished. Yes, yes. If we keep going and don't make time for breaks in between, it just doesn't work for us. I mean, you can be a night owl and still make this work for you. I mean, I don't know what your personal life looks like, but I have to be an early morning person because I have a kiddo in school. And it just works better for us because James wakes up early. I'm proud of you for taking notes, Mom. Yes, posting your to-do list gives accountability. Okay, do we have any other questions? I feel that. I feel like the only reason I'm on a sleep schedule is because James is on a schedule. How do I stop recording? We're gonna stop.